Good morning, everybody. Welcome back to cilinixfxcapital and welcome back to the daily updates. I took a week for myself, took a week and took it a little bit easy, which in hindsight was a pretty good decision given the market circumstances. I did still make the daily market updates, of course, but now we're back with daily market updates, but also more specific updates. So we'll start off with Bitcoin right now. Bitcoin, of course, being the most important asset in the markets right now. Most coins are following it, although I must say that since this morning, we actually saw some decorrelation with a couple of coins such as Link, Hedera, Hype, but Hype was very bearish yesterday, so this seems like a little bit of mean reversion. But also BitTensor outperforming Bitcoin slightly, but obviously Bitcoin is still very, like the Bitcoin dominance, at least over the course of the last 2 hours, has been relatively high. And most altcoins are still following it. So knowing what Bitcoin is going to do or knowing how Bitcoin looks gives you a very good idea of what to expect from altcoins as well. We've seen a little bit of recovery over the course of the Asian session this morning, which is good. You can see that we broke above this trend line, which is a very important trend line, as you can see on the weekly time frame. And that was also one of the key levels that I said yesterday. Okay, we really need to reclaim that if we want to form a bottom, right? Because I think the key thing we need to discuss right now, and the key thing that we need to wait for, or that we need to secure with Bitcoin, is some sort of a local bottom. And forming a local bottom, the best thing we could have done is reclaiming that trend line, and just in general reclaiming that general level between 85 and 86,000. We also had that point of control, that high liquidity zone at 84,000. We've been able to reclaim that. So purely from a technical standpoint, this looks good. Okay, you can also see that we had a very high volume liquidity spike here at the bottom at 81,000. It was also just a momentum initiative candle coming in, which is one of my indicators, and you can see, I mean, very often when one of those indicators comes in, you get bullish momentum, right? So that also happened right now. If you look at the last couple of times that we got one of those candles from the downside, we had moves up from top to bottom of 5.6%, and then after that it was 7.5%. Right now, from that bottom, we're up about 7% again. So just from that candle, we're almost near the highs. But ultimately, if this were the bottom, obviously we can expect more bullish momentum. So let's talk about that. And honestly, like I said, purely from a technical standpoint, this looks good. I mean, the volume is quite low. So that is something we do need to be aware of course. But ultimately, like the volume being low on the weekend, it's a given. And sometimes those weekend moves can actually still be real. The critical level, though, in my opinion, is still the level we spoke about yesterday. And that's this level right here, around 88 and 89,000. As you can see, we have a major point of control there. Which was already slightly tested, but not completely. But there we also have a major fair value gap that we left on Thursday the 20th when we continued the dump. We have a single print there as well, so that creates a bigger imbalance. We have the 7-day rolling VWAP there. So I would say the momentum that we're seeing right now, and in general the bottom confirmations we had at 81,000, are good enough to expect a move into the 7-day rolling VWAP into 88, 89,000. So I would say that is quite likely, which is, by the way, also what I said in my market update video yesterday. But in the end, it is a fundamentals market, okay? And we need to wait for how the fundamentals open tomorrow for us to see whether we can actually reclaim above the 7-day rolling VWAP. At this point of time, I do not expect that. I think the only way, like I do think, and I said this yesterday as well, I do think we have formed a local bottom here as 81,000. I think it's unlikely based on the higher time frame technicals, but also based on the fundamentals and how they are right now. I think it's unlikely to expect that we are going to drop down lower short term. But that doesn't mean that we're going to rally. And still we need to see some sort of recovery in the fundamentals before I can say, okay, we can break above 89,000 and get some more recovery into 94, 95,000. That is very far away right now. I mean, we really need to see some good data. We need to see the probability for a rate cut in December go up even more. At this point of time, it's sitting at around 71%. We need to see the volatility index drop down much more. We need to see no liquidity problems in the United States. So then we can expect that reclaim. But at this point of time, I would say it's more likely that, yes, we'll get some more recovery, but that we will reject at 89, 88,000. And that we will remain stable in the area between 88 and 84,000. I'll be back with a new update later today, but also tomorrow, of course. So for now, that is what I think you need to know. So thank you for watching. Take care and bye.